Please introduce yourself.
Kr.Chettri. I work as an Assistant Director to Department of Tourism and Civil Aviation Government of Sikkim. I take care of Adventure section along with North Sikkim. That's what I do, and I'm a very keen interest with adventure, so I do a couple of adventures like trekking. I used to be doing mountaineering before, and now I do paragliding. So it's been about 25 years now that I have been in adventure and trying to learn many things, and every day is a learning process. So I'm learning, and every day is a learning process. So I'm learning small thing every day, and that's how I'm growing. And my department where I work always gives me opportunity to learn, see and travel, understand. That's how I do. And I have been actively working with the department before with the rural tourism project, where we used to train a lot of homestay operator in the village and the community, and that's how I'm growing slowly, every day learning one by one and growing up.
So what are the procedures one has to go through if one want to be an adventure sports athlete?
See, that depends upon what is the interest of an individual. It depends upon the interest of an individual. For me, when I wanted to become a paragliding pilot, I went to an institute to learn how to fly glider. And similarly, when I wanted to become a mountaineer, I went to Mountaineering Institute, and that's how I learned the mountaineering and rock climbing techniques. So in all the adventures, depends upon the individual interest. They have to at least get trained in an institute or from a very learned, resourceful instructor and get certified. Because doing adventure, anybody can do. However, you will need to have certain certificates, credentials, because somebody has to accredit you. Like if, for example, if somebody wants to do Everest for mountaineering, so they will always need to have a basic and advanced mountaineering courses and then rescue courses, so which are certified. Say for example, there are many mountaineering institutes in the country, like the famous one we have just nearby in Darjeeling, the Himalayan Mountaineering Institute, right? Similarly, now in Sikkim, Department of Tourism, Government of Sikkim, we also have a institute, Indian Himalayan Center for Adventure and Ecotourism, which is in South Sikkim, where the institute provides mountaineering course, paragliding course, then rock climbing, lot of courses. So similarly, if somebody wants to do paragliding courses, so they will have to go to paragliding institute. Likewise, where I went was Indus Paragliding in Maharashtra, Kamse, where I went and learned paragliding basic. And later on to go into advanced level, I went into Himachal Pradesh, a place called Bir Biling. People call it the second best place to fly paragliding.
If I'm not wrong, Sikkim has turned into a hub for adventure sports lover. Many people from different parts of the country are going to Sikkim to learn paragliding, rock climbing, and many more. Why do Sikkim have better infrastructure than compared to other states of India?
For me, I feel then we have the third highest mountain in the world, Mount Kanchenjunga, which is the Himalayas, and Sikkim has been promoted by Department of Tourism, stakeholders like the Travel Agent Association of Sikkim, and Sikkim Association of Adventure Tour Operators. And then Sikkim was already ahead since 1990s in the adventure field, opening up trekking routes, mountaineering routes. And since in the olden days, Sikkim was recognized as one of our training sites by Himalayan Mountaineering Institute, which they still do. And they bring their students to train in the glacier in Sikkim. So that's how, Sikkim has also, time to time, they train people, youth, unemployed youth and youth to, learn different kinds of adventure activities like mountain biking, trekking, paragliding, all these adventure activities, and that's how they produce individuals to learn adventure activities in the state.
India and Northeast in particular, very few people have carved a name for themselves on adventure sports. Why is that? According to you, what could be the reason behind that?
I feel it is lack of individual interest, number one, because a person is not interested, you cannot bring him and say, you become a paraglider, you become a mountaineer. So first is our people need to have interest, number one. Number two, when our people have interest, there are very less avenues to get trained in the institutes. It's because lack of information. Many of our youth living in the Northeast still don't know they have the Northeast many institutes where they provide adventure training. Let's say there's an institute of mountaineering and allied which is in Arunachal Pradesh, Dhirang. Many people in our Northeast doesn't know. We have Himalayan Mountaineering Institute in Darjeeling. Many people doesn't know. We have Indian Himalayan Center for Adventure and Ecotourism in Sikkim. Many people doesn't know. So lack of information which have not reached the people to and understand, go forward for it. However, this kind of interviews, this kind of programs, and the way that Bodoland has organized the first championship, people have started coming in. Say in Mizoram, we recently last 2 years there was a paragliding championship, and people have become so much of experience. They have so many pilots, and now paragliding has become one of the important, adventure activities in the Northeast, in Arunachal Pradesh, in Assam, in
Manipur,
and in Sikkim,
Manipur,
and now many people are getting interested to do paragliding and other adventure activities in Meghalaya also, right? Even in Nagaland, there are many people who are doing adventure, and very few people, as you said, has come into the limelight is because of their hard work, dedication, interest. Because there's one saying in our language, if sick person doesn't take medicine, he will never get well. So the person who is interested to do adventure has to have keen interest in doing whatever is required for him or her to become, perfect, learn and make the skill perfect, and then they can go ahead to achieve their fate.
As an assistant adventure director, what are your duties and roles that you have to do?
As an assistant director, I have a lot of responsibilities. My job in the office is office job first, where we work with the higher authorities in framing the policies of the government with regards to the adventure activities, guidelines, rules and regulations, how to undertake adventure activities in the state. Then we license with other offices, say for example like the Ministry of Tourism, Government of India, where we again license with them to work ahead for the adventure policies. And then we also have to license with the stakeholders in the state, because we are the parent department where a lot of adventure activities has to undergo through us in terms of formalities. So our section, adventure section, also works with the local community to understand the feasibility of any adventure activities that can be undertaken in their village, so that we go do feasibility study, and then we also have to have the responsibilities of training our local youth in different adventure activities in coordination with the stakeholders. As I told you before, the travel agent, when we do trekking, we need trekking guide. When we do bird watching, we need bird watching guide. So when we do mountaineering, so adventure section, Department of Tourism not only trains the youth, and there are other departments which also train the youth in ecotourism. So we always have to license with every stakeholders and organization, which are government organization and non-governmental organization in the state and outside the state, to train our youth to harness their skill, to make them better for providing best services to the customer and the guest who visit the state.
Do you think that anyone can make a profession out of this adventure sports in India? Is it possible to make a profession?
Yes. Many people have taken adventure, and they have made their profession as a expert. Say for example, like when we see in Northeast, in Arunachal Pradesh, we have Mrs. Anshu, who is like Everester. We see in Sikkim Mr. Kaji Sherpa. We see in Sikkim Mr. Kunjang Gyatso Bhutia, who is an Everester. Also have a lot of people in Manipur, Assam, Mizoram, Meghalaya, who has climbed Everest. And since they come from different backgrounds, but their interest was to become a professional adventurer in one line, which will be mountaineering. So they have worked hard and they become expert in mountaineering. Similarly, when we see people in paragliding, then we have in Sikkim we have Mr. Raju Rai, Mr. Arjun Rai. If we go in Assam, Bodoland, you can see our friends Keshav and other friends who have become a professional paragliding pilot. So in India there are so many people who have taken adventure and they have become expert instructor and also an expert who has accomplished achievements. So many people feel adventure is risk. Yes, there is risk because adventure is always a risk factor. But if you go above the risk and if you can work hard and you can take risks, I think with hard work, dedication, there is somebody sitting at the top, God, who is watching over all of us and bless us, and everybody can take this adventure as the profession, and they can.
Sir, the last question is, any message or what you would like to add before we sum up this interview?
I can say life is an adventure, and if you risk it, yes, there are chances. You will never you cannot succeed sometime, but if you can succeed, it's always achievement. So life is an adventure, as I said. So I can tell all the viewers that not only adventure is a place where trekking, mountaineering, rock climbing, or any kind of adventure happens, and then you can make big success. But life is also an adventure. So to win ourselves in difficult times, and then to make everybody happy, being a good human being, to support the community, to support the people living nearby, in small things. I think that would be always gift that God has given us as a human being. So never take life into negativity, do adventure, and become a messenger of peace.